It is Thursday, and I'm with Gareth Roberts as usual. I was off sick last week, so I probably had some.
Did you just do quotations marks then? Did you go, I was off sick?
No, I don't know. I think I just done some thing with my hands, and I actually don't know why. I just felt the need to tell everyone that I was off sick. They could probably didn't care. I'm like, you're telling the world, like, I was sick last week.
People will have missed you.
Oh, well, I'm back. So, and we're talking about injuries today that Man United seem to have accrued. Now, I'm not buying into this idea that this is some theory and, oh, I'll believe it when I see it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and said that David De Gea and Paul Pogba are injured ahead of the game, or they're not going to be featuring, sorry, on Sunday. But people are saying, oh no, it's all lies, they're going to play and it's psychological. Is it really? Or are they just injured and we should just take it as a bit of a boost going into Sunday?
I mean, I think, you know, De Gea was obviously injured on international duty and it's hard to sort of blag that. I mean, he was definitely injured.
He literally hobbled off the pitch.
I think he's 100% out by the looks of things. On the Pogba one, I'm a bit sus that he does an interview about it in the middle of the week. Like, I don't really, why are you doing that? And like, he didn't, and I sort of know where it's coming from because he didn't look very convincing on the like, he was a bit sheepish, you know what I mean? And also, like, he is de facto the biggest brown nose of Alex Ferguson ever. And, you know, Ferguson obviously loved his mind games TM. So, you know, like, I think maybe he looks at it and goes, like, if I do this, you know, he'll be trying every trick in the book. Like, I think later in the week, I know we haven't got much of it left, but before the match, basically, I think he'll say something, either having a bit of a mild pop at Liverpool for not winning the league or something like that. He'll do something to try and get the supporters going because that's what Ferguson always did as well. And as I said, he's obviously like in that Ferguson camp. He loves everything about the fella. You know, he quotes him all the time, doesn't he? He says, oh, I was speaking to the boss. And it's cringy as fuck. The other thing on Solskjaer, by the way, on that interview that he does about the injury to Pogba, looks like he's aged about 60 years in the last 2 weeks.
It's like remember when Theresa May aged about 10,000 years in like a year?
Stress, innit?
Yeah.
Stress. You're all right, Ollie, lad? You're still at the wheel, lad.
I haven't actually seen it yet, but I haven't questioned it. And all I keep thinking is, if it's not true, that's just like, it's just dead sad. And I actually feel like a little bit sorry for them. If the only thing that they've got there going up, like up their sleeve going into Sunday is that they have to pretend that Paul Pogba's not playing. Like as if Jurgen Klopp's going to go, right, Paul Pogba's not playing, I'm going to set up my team, it's a team sheet comes in, Paul Pogba's playing. Lads, rips up the team sheet, right, Adam Lallana, you're in, your goal and all this sort of, like what do they expect is going to happen if he does play? Do you think we're really going to give one?
I mean, what I think is fascinating is that, you know, Man United fans virtually disappeared from the internet. Like, you know,
what a lovely time.
They're quite mouthy and quite cocky. You might think pot kettle there, but I was going to say so are Scousers. And, you know, neither tribe, if you like, is shy about shouting about itself. And they're all under the rocks at the moment because I think they know how bad they are themselves. I had a pint with a mank the other night because I went to Si Hughes's book event. There she goes, looks good by the way. I've read about 3 chapters. If you're into political history of Liverpool, get involved. And yet there was a man lad there who was sound, and I enjoyed having a pint with him, and he was a nice lad. But when we got talking about the footy, he was just like, we're shite. Yeah. We're shite. And he's like, you know, he said, not only is it that as a group of players, they're not particularly good. He said, I don't think they've got the bottle, I don't think they've got the fight. And he was like, that's what Ferguson used to squeeze out of even mediocre looking Man United side, like the last side that won the league in 2013?
Something like that.
Wasn't the best United side you've ever seen, but he got something out of it, and as soon as he went, the drop-off was massive. They went from, what, 1st to 6th or 1st to 7th. So, I mean, that's the big question for me. I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can do whatever he wants. He can say about injuries, he can try and wind up the fans, he can do all that kind of stuff, but ultimately, the lads he puts on the pitch behind them, do they care enough? Will they fight enough? We'll see on Sunday.
Also, he's not Fergie.
I know.
And this is the
Very
thing.
far away from being.
I chatted to a Man United fan as well yesterday for our team talk show where we preview the match. And he was saying the same thing. He kept saying what Solskjaer needs to do is he needs to go in, he needs to rally that dressing room, he needs to get the players up forward. And I'm thinking, I don't think these players are arsed. No. I really don't. I think they're in such a rut. What I will say is, for them, probably the international break come at a good time. They've got a couple of players back. Martial's due to be back, whether he starts or not, I'm not too sure. But I don't think they really care. What I will say is they probably will be a lot more up for it coming off the back of a bit of a break, and they want to kickstart the next run. And I've had a look at like the next few games, and the next games they've got after Liverpool in the league is basically all relegation ones. It's Norwich away, Brighton at home, I think Sheffield away, and I don't know if it's Villa at home or away. So they'll be looking to get a little bit of a run together starting from our game, like make no odds about it. They will be going for it. I just don't really know if the individual players on the pitch will really, I don't feel like they've got any leaders, anyone to really go, listen, this is Liverpool, Man United, and we really care about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think broadly speaking, they've obviously been dog shit ever since Solskjaer was given the job permanently. I think he's
the best game they played was the Chelsea game when they got beat.
Well, I mean, they've had 2 decent results at home, haven't they? They beat Chelsea and they beat Leicester. Okay, Sam, but I still think Liverpool's a totally different, proposition. Like, our record there is crap, but if we turn up and we're the best version of ourselves, then we win. It's simple as that. I don't think there's too much to be scared about there. And yeah, as the manager goes, he's gone for me already. Like, he's a dead man walking. He's got the face of Roy Hodgson when he knew he was being sacked. He's Roy Hodgson-esque as well, I think, in some of his quotes as well. So, I mean, as much as you can look forward to a match against them because of our historic record against them, I am kind of looking forward to this one because, I wouldn't say quietly confident, loudly confident.
I'm like trying to keep it on the down low just because I'm scared in case it comes back to bite you on the arse. It's one of those that it just feels, God, like, you look at them last season when we played them last season, and I think it was like, 3 of them went down injured in the first 20 minutes, and you think, I was literally rubbing my hands going, this is going to be a piece of cake, and we struggled. And I think I've said it before, but I think this game at Old Trafford has felt at a much better time for us. And hopefully we will absolutely batter them, just like we're all thinking.
Well, there's less pressure on Liverpool this time as well. I think last time around, everyone was saying similar stuff. We'll definitely go there, we'll definitely win, we're a better side. I think Liverpool just looked a bit nervous on the day and didn't play the natural game.
They couldn't drop points.
Well, exactly. So there was that huge pressure on. This time we're 8 points clear, and I think, obviously Klopp will get them going and they'll get themselves going, but it'll surely be at the back of their minds, a draw is not the worst result. Even if we get beat, it's still not the worst. Yeah, exactly. And so I think you're right in saying the time of year it's come at, the situations the 2 clubs are in. They're 12th, remember. Their worst start in 30 years. And by the way, they've got the biggest wage bill as well in the league. It's fucking great.
It's almost weird. Like, I can't get used to it. Like, I can't get used to the fact that I'm talking about Man United. Like, Man United. And even when we were in the deepest depths of Hodgson era, I don't know, it just still feels like it's worse. These are doing worse than what we were. I can't get my head around it.
Well, they've got people inside the club, haven't they, that are causing them problems, the people who are recruiting the players, Ed Woodward, the Glazers.
About 10,000 scouts from about 4 different managers.
And even if they get rid of Solskjaer, it's like, well, who are you getting now, and why does he fix everything? He probably doesn't. I mean, it has got sort of shades of, the Souness era and, what happened to Liverpool after Kenny resigned. Long may it continue.
I mean, it does need a big overhaul from the bottom up, probably Man United. But a show where we talked about the top 6, even though Man United are 12, they're still classed as top 6, I suppose, with a couple of other teams. We've been doing a couple of videos looking at other teams, including United. So I think this one coming up is, we've got one talking about United, Arsenal and Leicester, with them being in the top 4 at the moment. So here's a little clip of it that we've done earlier in the week.
So this is the difficult Leicester thing, Rob, is to work out whether or not, and it could be that both of these sentences are true, whether or not they are a solid side that could expect to finish in the top 6, who've got top 6 strength in depth, or whether or not they're a side who should be looking to push on and finish in the top 4. But it could be this season, because of the context, both of those things are true at once. That because there's other sides dropping off a cliff, Leicester are going to, or could end up with the opportunity to maybe finish higher than they should with the players that they've got.
There's not a top 6 anymore, is there? It looks that way. There's a top 2, and then there's 3 to 8, maybe. Yeah. Because I think, well, Wolves are in the conversation as much as Leicester, or despite their dodgy start. Leicester surprised me in that I think all their jewels are at the back, actually, quietly, despite all the publicity being for the likes of Maddison, Tielemans and the threat of Vardy. I think that the full-backs are probably the next best pair of full-backs in the division, behind ours. The Turkish fella and the other lad at the back are very good. Evans, yeah, Johnny, they're very,
He's a league-winning goalkeeper, whether you like him or not. He has got a league-winner's medal.
And they've got Ndidi ahead of them, and Chowdhury's cover, and he's a good player. They've got a good base to spring from. It wasn't a Brendan Rodgers, we'll find a way to attack you, getting bodies in the box kind of side. Phil Blundell had said this before. Apart from that Newcastle game where they cut loose because they're facing 10 men, they're not scoring a shitload of goals. They're solid. It's hard to know. I mean, you kind of look at all of last season's top six, and they all had issues at the back, and you wonder if those that don't have issues at the back might be the ones that prevail.
So that's a little clip from our top six show, which is included in our video package or our premium package where you get the audio and video. And today, for everyone who has downloaded the app, if you're not on the full premium service already, you're going to get 200 tokens to use at your wish. So you can use it to watch the top six video. You can watch it, you can save them for the post-match pint on Sunday, the post-match show, spend it on some podcasts. Basically, if you're not on the premium account and you're already signed up and you haven't downloaded the app, you're going to get, if you have got the app, those tokens are going to be in your account today to spend and use them wisely. But also, if you haven't downloaded the app yet, you already get free tokens when you do download it. So it's just another little bit of a push for you to get on the app and see all the amazing content that we've got. I think you get 250 if you're a new subscriber, or if you haven't downloaded the app already. So there's plenty for you to choose from with the tokens. But just on this second part quickly before we go, as far as I know, since we've been sat here, it hasn't been confirmed, but looks like a 90% chance that the Christmas fixtures are going to be released today. And shock horror, the TV companies couldn't give a shit about the fans yet again. And it looks like Liverpool are going to be playing Leicester away at 8 o'clock on Boxing Night. On Boxing Night, which is pretty much like basically a public holiday for a lot of people. A time where people spend a lot of time with the families, with the friends. Boxing Night's like the best night to go out in town for Scousers as well. All the nights that are put on and everything like that. And they've decided to put our game at 8 o'clock. Yeah. And it's absolutely ridiculous. So what I done before I come on here doing this, I had a look. I went on the train line. I thought, let's just see how much the trains are. There's not one train even going to Leicester that day. Not one. There's no public transport. And there's limited public transport when it's a 3 o'clock kick-off at Anfield on a Boxing Day. Never mind Leicester. I know.
I mean, Leicester's an hard place to get to at the best of times. And yeah, on Boxing Day, obviously, as you say, no public transport. I mean, you imagine there'll be some coaches, and maybe, hopefully, the club can chip in and help on some of the coaches again. I know they've done that in the past, but it shouldn't have to come down to the fans or the club. I mean, what happens over and over again is that, as you said at the top, really, the TV companies don't give a flying fuck about the people that actually go to the match. But you know what? If no one turned up and like Leicester and Liverpool were playing in front of an empty stadium, they'd give a fuck then.
Yes, exactly.
And I just kind of think, like, you know, you see it all the time, that if you let people walk over you, then they will do. What you've got to do is keep on chipping away. So I hope that, you know, fans organise, get together and make a fuss about this. I know that the Spirit of Shankly probably will, Football Supporters Association probably will, but you know, you watching, you should support the likes of those organisations. They've already done a great job in terms of getting away matches, you know, the tickets down to 30 quid a pop, which is still on the high side for me, but it's better than it was. And they campaign around these issues as well. I've already seen some tweets from Football Supporters Association. You know, it's free to get involved with that organisation. They're always looking for help. If you want to campaign on their behalf, I'm sure you can do. Same applies to Spirit of Shankly. And there's nothing stopping you writing a good old-fashioned letter or email to the likes of Amazon, to Sky, to BT Sport, and just basically say, any fucking chance, lads, I go the match. It's hard enough already. Why are you making it harder? Any consideration? But it's Amazon, this one, isn't it?
This is the thing, isn't it?
They want to show a load of matches back to back, apparently.
This this is what's a bit strange about this one and is a bit different, is that this is the first year that Amazon are getting any like live football games, and they're showing all of them as well, aren't they? It's not, if I'm correct, I think they're showing all of the games.
All the Boxing Day ones.
So I don't think like...
4 back-to-back, I heard someone say.
I know it's something to do with like, it doesn't matter about like the 3 o'clock time or whatever, and that they wanted to show them all. So for Amazon, they're rubbing their hands going to town. We've got the biggest fixture on Boxing Day. We'll put it at evening when everyone's going to be watching it. And as much as I don't agree with it, it doesn't come as a shock to me that Amazon have sat there rubbing their hands thinking, well, think about how many people will be watching that match compared to the amount of people in that ground. I mean, I can't remember what the Leicester allocation is. It's about probably 2,000 or 3,000, I imagine, just like anywhere else. It's a very small minority, isn't it, really? But
it won't even, I mean, to be fair, the people who are making these decisions, like the executives, the people who are saying...
It's the bigger picture for them, isn't it?
They won't even realise. I remember years ago when Liverpool drew Exeter in the Cup, and the BBC put it on like a Friday night, on the box on a Friday night. And everyone was tweeting about it kicking off, who actually goes to the game, saying, how are you supposed to get there? You know, you've got to take at least half a day, probably a day, off work
overnight
to get there. Yeah, there was no train back and all that kind of thing. And I remember like, it might have been Gibbo or someone like that. Someone tweeted Gary Lineker anyway about it, because obviously he hosts Match of the Day, and was like, you know, any hopes, guy? And he came back and he was like, I've literally never thought about this.
Yeah.
Because in his world, that's not a thing.
He's just thinking about Friday night telly, or like, I remember, it always felt to me that we used to get Fulham away on like a Monday night or something like that. And you think of even like Newcastle, think about where they are in the country. And I don't know, I mean, I don't know what their fixtures are, I'm using them as an example, but if they're away on Boxing Day, where on earth are they going to have to travel to? And does it take an empty stadium for these companies to get their act together? And it's not just the away fans, I'm also thinking of like the home fans, because as much as it sounds great, we all like the sort of Friday night kickoffs, we can go out and have a drink afterwards. Boxing Day is a bit different. It's a time that a lot of people do, like, say Christmas Day, they're with their immediate family, then usually in Liverpool there's like a big family party, isn't there? And it's like, how are you getting back from Anfield, especially if you want to drink as well, to go on to what you're going to do next? There's not going to be any taxis to get you into town, to go and carry on your plans, or to get you home. It's an absolute joke.
He's a buzzing off you, yeah.
I know, sorry. I'm just, it just pisses me off because they really don't care. But I don't think we'll see a change. I think that's going to be confirmed probably by the time.
We can keep on asking for some common sense and consideration though. So like I say, get behind those organisations who do stick up for fans because they're doing a good job.
Exactly, they do. So make sure you keep tweeting about it and making noise about it, because if we don't, it'll never change. And it might seem like you're banging your head against a brick wall, but like Gareth said, all these organisations are trying the best. But yeah, I think that's about it for today's Talking Red. Tomorrow we're back on it, we're building up to Man United, which is always one of the biggest games of the season, no matter what anyone says. I can't wait for it. It's going to be, I really can't wait for this one. Keep an eye out for all the build-up content that we've got going on over the app. And like I say, if you download the app today and you're not a premium subscriber already, you'll get some free tokens to use on all the content as well, leading up to it or after the match as well. So yeah, thank you very much.
Hope that has.